The alarm buzzes at 6:15 a.m., but I'm already awake, listening to the soft murmur of voices drifting up from the kitchen. Lauren's laugh mingles with Emma's giggle, something about pancakes shaped like butterflies. Noah's deeper voice joins in, probably complaining about syrup on his school uniform again. I pad downstairs in my robe, catching sight of them through the archway. Lauren stands at the stove, her auburn hair caught in morning light streaming through our bay window. She's still in her silk pajamas, the ones I bought her last Christmas. Emma perches on a bar stool, swinging her legs while Lauren slides a perfectly golden pancake onto her plate. "Morning, Dad." Noah doesn't look up from his phone, but his voice carries warmth. Lauren turns, offering me that smile, the one that's carried us through 10 years of marriage. "Coffee's ready. I made your favorite." The routine unfolds like clockwork. Lauren packs Emma's lunch with surgical precision, tucking a handwritten note into the side pocket. She kisses my cheek as I grab my travel mug, her lips soft and familiar. Everything perfect. Everything as it should be. The drive to Sterling Financial Analytics takes 43 minutes on a good day. I use the time to review client portfolios, scanning through quarterly reports that determine whether the Hendersons can afford their daughter's college tuition or if the Patels need to delay retirement another year. Numbers don't lie. They can't manipulate or deceive. They simply exist, clean and honest. At home, Lauren tends her rose garden. I catch glimpses of her through my office window during video calls, kneeling in the dirt, pruning shears catching sunlight. Later, she disappears into her studio, the converted garage where canvases lean against every wall, landscapes mostly, peaceful scenes that mirror the life we've built together. "She seems distracted lately," Margaret Whitman mentions at the neighborhood barbecue. Our next-door neighbor cradles her wine glass, eyes tracking Lauren across the yard. "At book club last week, she barely spoke." I follow Margaret's gaze. Lauren stands alone by the fence, phone pressed to her ear, her free hand gesturing animatedly. When she notices me watching, she ends the call quickly, sliding the phone into her back pocket. "Work stress," I tell Margaret. "You know how it is." But Lauren doesn't work. Hasn't since Emma was born. Dinner that night feels different. The kids chatter about school, about friends, about weekend plans, but Lauren's responses sound rehearsed. Her phone rests face down beside her plate, vibrating intermittently. Each buzz makes her fingers twitch toward it. "Who keeps calling?" Emma asks, stabbing at her green beans. "Nobody important, sweetheart." Lauren's smile doesn't reach her eyes. "Probably just spam." Later, as I load the dishwasher, I catch her on the phone again. She stepped onto the back patio, voice lowered to barely above a whisper. Through the glass door, I watch her pace back and forth, one hand pressed against her temple. She laughs, a sound I don't recognize, throaty, intimate. When she comes inside, I'm waiting. "Everything okay?" "Fine." She brushes past me toward the stairs. "Just coordinating with the other moms about the school fundraiser." The lie sits heavy between us. The fundraiser was last month. Over the next few weeks, the work gatherings begin. Tuesday night dinners with colleagues she's never mentioned. Weekend trips to conferences in cities I can't pronounce. Each time she returns with excuses that grow thinner, explanations that don't quite add up. I start noticing other things. Credit card statements with charges from restaurants I've never been to. Hotel rooms in the city center. Expensive lingerie hidden in the back of her dresser. Tags still attached, sizes that don't match what she usually wears. Her phone becomes a constant companion, angled away from me during conversations, silenced during family dinners. When it rings late at night, she steps into the bathroom to answer, water running to mask her voice. "You're being paranoid," Marcus tells me over lunch. We sit in the Sterling break room, my untouched sandwich growing stale while I voice concerns I can barely articulate. 10 years of marriage, 2 kids, Lauren's not going anywhere. But she already has, hasn't she? She's sitting at our kitchen table every morning, packing lunches and pouring coffee, but she's not there. Not really. The confrontation comes on a Thursday night. The kids are asleep, homework done, backpacks ready by the front door. Lauren sits at the kitchen table, laptop open, pretending to work on something that requires her full attention. We need to talk. She doesn't look up. Can it wait? I'm in the middle of something important. More important than our marriage? That gets her attention. She closes the laptop slowly, her fingers lingering on the cover. What's that supposed to mean? The late-night calls, the unexplained trips, the credit card charges? I pull out the statements I've been collecting, spreading them across the table like evidence in a courtroom. Where were you last Tuesday, Lauren? Really? Her eyes fill with tears, the same ones that have gotten her out of speeding tickets and smoothed over forgotten anniversaries. I can't believe you're spying on me, going through my things like some kind of detective. I'm trying to save our marriage, but I need to know what I'm saving it from. She reaches across the table, her fingers intertwining with mine. Her wedding ring catches the overhead light, the diamond I saved for 6 months to buy her. Baby, you're scaring yourself over nothing. I've been stressed about money, about the kids, about everything. Sometimes I just need space to breathe. The explanation sounds reasonable, almost believable. But as she talks, her free hand slides toward her phone, fingers dancing across the screen, deleting something, always deleting something. I love you, she whispers, and for a moment I almost believe everything will be okay. But trust, once cracked, spreads like ice across a windshield, and I can't unsee what I've already seen. The jewelry store downtown specializes in custom pieces, the kind of place where anniversary gifts are born and marriage proposals take shape. I explain what I need to the silver-haired jeweler, feeling like I'm planning something sacred and profane at the same time. Recording capability? He adjusts his glasses, studying my sketches. That's unusual. My wife loves unique pieces, technology integrated into classic design. 3 weeks later, the necklace arrives, a white gold chain supporting a heart-shaped pendant encrusted with genuine diamonds. Beautiful enough to justify the price, sophisticated enough to hide its true purpose. The recording device sits invisible within the heart, activated by a simple app on my phone. Our 10th anniversary falls on a Saturday. I present the gift over breakfast, watching Lauren's face illuminate with genuine surprise. She fastens it around her neck, the pendant settling just above her collarbone. It's beautiful, she breathes, touching the heart with trembling fingers. Ethan, you shouldn't have spent so much. 10 years deserves something special. That evening, she kisses me goodbye at the front door, the necklace catching the porch light. Girls' night, she explains. Sarah's divorce is final, so we're taking her out to celebrate. Or commiserate. Probably both. I wait until her taillights disappear around the corner before pulling out my phone. The app connects instantly, audio crystal clear through my earbuds. For an hour, I hear nothing but background noise, restaurant chatter, clinking glasses, muffled music. Then her voice cuts through the static, sharp and clear. He's completely clueless. Lauren's laugh has an edge I've never heard before. Still thinks I'm painting landscapes and tending roses like some suburban housewife? A deeper voice responds, masculine, confident, tinged with amusement. And the kids? They'll adjust. Children are resilient. Besides, once everything's finalized, they'll have the lifestyle they deserve. Private schools, vacations, a proper home. My hands shake as I increase the volume. This can't be real. This can't be my Lauren. The joint accounts are almost empty, she continues. I've been transferring money gradually so he won't notice until it's too late. His 401k is next, then the house equity. By the time I file for divorce, there won't be anything left for him to fight over. You're ruthless, the man says, and I can hear the admiration in his voice. I like that about you. I learned from the best. Her voice turned sultry, intimate. Victor Caldwell doesn't settle for anything less than total victory. Victor Caldwell. The name hits like a physical blow. I know him. Everyone in Willow Creek does. Real estate mogul, city council member, the kind of man who appears on charity gala committees and gets his picture in the society pages. Married to his high school sweetheart, 3 kids, reputation cleaner than fresh laundry. What about custody? Victor asks. Please. Ethan works 60-hour weeks, travels constantly. I'll present myself as the devoted mother holding the family together while he chases money and ignores his children. No judge will side with an absent father over a concerned mother. The words slice through me like broken glass. Every late night at the office, every business trip, every sacrifice I made to provide for our family, she's weaponizing all of it. And if he fights? Lauren's laugh turns cold. With what? His reputation? I've already started planting seeds with the neighbors. Margaret Whitman thinks he's been acting strange, possessive. Rebecca's heard stories about his temper. By the time I'm done, Ethan Bennett will look like exactly what I need him to be. An unstable man who lost his family because he couldn't control his anger. I rip out the earbuds, lungs burning as I realize I've been holding my breath. The living room spins around me, familiar furniture suddenly foreign. The family photos on the mantel, Lauren and I at our wedding, holding newborn Emma, teaching Noah to ride a bike. They're all lies. Every smile, every embrace, every moment I thought we shared. How long has she been planning this? Months? Years? I force myself to keep listening, recording everything. The conversation continues for another hour, detailing financial transfers, legal strategies, even discussions about which private investigator to hire to dig up dirt on my supposed indiscretions. They've thought of everything. When Lauren finally comes home at midnight, I'm sitting in the dark living room, phone in my lap, the recording saved to 3 different cloud accounts. "Hey, baby," she whispers, slipping out of her heels. "How was your night?" I watch her in the hallway light. This woman I've shared a bed with for 10 years. She's still beautiful, more so maybe, with her lips slightly swollen and her hair mussed from whatever she and Victor did after their planning session. "Fine," I manage. "How's Sarah holding up?" "Oh, you know, devastated 1 minute, relieved the next. Divorce is never easy." She sits beside me on the couch, her hand finding mine in the darkness. "Thank God we'll never have to go through something like that." The lie flows so easily from her lips. No hesitation, no tells. If I hadn't heard the recordings, I might have pulled her close, kissed her forehead, told her how lucky we are. Instead, I squeeze her hand gently. "Thank God," I echo. Over the next few days, I notice things I missed before. Subtle changes in our social circle. Margaret Whitman's concerned glances. Rebecca's careful questions about work stress. Even Marcus seems distant, distracted during our lunch meetings. The seeds are already planted. Lauren's been busy, but she doesn't know about the necklace. Doesn't know I've heard every word, every plan, every cruel laugh. She thinks she's won a game I didn't even know we were playing. She's wrong. Monday morning, I'm at First National before they open, waiting in my car until the security guard unlocks the doors. The branch manager, Helen Torres, knows me well enough to expedite the paperwork. Joint accounts frozen, credit cards canceled, investment accounts secured with additional authentication requirements. "Is everything all right, Mr. Bennett?" Helen's concern seems genuine. "This is quite unusual. Just taking some precautions." I sign the last form with steady hands. Better safe than sorry. Julia Harmon's office occupies the top floor of a downtown high-rise, floor-to-ceiling windows, offering a view of the entire city. Her reputation precedes her, the divorce attorney wealthy men fear and desperate women pray for. She's expensive, but Lauren's affair with Victor has taught me the value of superior legal representation. Adultery, financial fraud, potential child endangerment. Julia reviews my evidence with the detached efficiency of a surgeon examining X-rays. The recordings are particularly damning. Your wife seems to have documented her own crimes. Can we use them in court? Absolutely. Single-party consent state and you're married to the subject. This is admissible and devastating. She leans back in her leather chair. Mr. Bennett, I've seen a lot of ugly divorces. This isn't going to be one of them. This is going to be a massacre. Rebecca calls that afternoon. Lauren's younger sister, the one who always seemed to see through her pretenses. Ethan, can we meet? There's something I need to tell you. We sit in a coffee shop on the opposite side of town, far from prying eyes and loose tongues. Rebecca's hands shake as she wraps them around her mug. I've suspected for months, she admits. The way she talks about you, about the marriage, like you're some kind of burden she's carrying. Her voice drops to a whisper. She asked me to lie for her, to say she was with me during times when she wasn't. And did you? Rebecca's eyes fill with tears. Once, last month, she said it was for a surprise party she was planning for your anniversary. The irony isn't lost on either of us. I'm so sorry, Ethan. I should have known better. But I don't feel anger toward Rebecca. She's as much a victim of Lauren's manipulation as I am. The internal struggle hits me at unexpected moments. Folding laundry, I find myself holding one of Lauren's sweaters, remembering how she looked wearing it on our first Christmas morning as a married couple. Making breakfast, I automatically start preparing her coffee the way she likes it. 2 sugars, splash of cream, before catching myself. Is this justice or revenge? Does it matter? Lauren's attempts at manipulation intensify. She starts coming home with small gifts. My favorite cookies from the bakery downtown, a book she claims reminded her of me. Her touches linger longer, her smiles seem more genuine. At night, she presses close in bed, whispering about how much she loves our life together. I've been thinking, she says one evening as we clean up after dinner. Maybe we should plan a real vacation this summer. Just the 4 of us. Remember how much fun we had in Colorado? I remember. It was 2 years ago, before Victor Caldwell entered our lives. The kids learned to ski while Lauren and I sat by the lodge fire, planning our future, talking about growing old together. That sounds nice, I tell her, because what else can I say? My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Back off, Bennett. You're playing with fire. Victor's warning doesn't scare me. If anything, it confirms what I already know. They're worried. They should be. Marcus notices the change in my demeanor. You seem different lately, more focused, less anxious. We're reviewing the Morrison account, but my mind is elsewhere, calculating timelines and legal strategies. I've found some clarity about things that were bothering me. Good. You've seemed distracted for months. If only he knew how clearly I'm seeing things now. Rebecca starts feeding me information. Phone calls from Lauren asking about alibis, requests for money loans, hints about big changes coming to our family. Each piece of intelligence helps me understand the scope of their plan. She's scared, Rebecca tells me during one of our clandestine meetings. She keeps asking if you've seemed different, if you've asked about her whereabouts. I think she knows something's wrong. Instinct, maybe, or guilt. Either way, I need to move carefully. The neighborhood gossip network is more efficient than the FBI. Mrs. Henderson from 3 houses down mentions seeing Lauren's car at the Marriott downtown. The mailman comments on the number of legal documents being delivered to houses on our street lately. Even our children's teachers are asking casual questions about family stability. Small-town life has its advantages and disadvantages. Right now, I'm counting on both. I start making lists, guest lists, specifically. The anniversary dinner is 3 weeks away, and every invitation needs to be strategic. Family members who've known Lauren since childhood. Friends who've watched our marriage from the beginning. Neighbors who've seen the changes in her behavior. People whose opinions matter, whose presence will make her downfall complete. The planning becomes meditation. Each detail matters. Seating arrangements, lighting, sound system setup. This isn't just about exposing Lauren's betrayal. It's about ensuring that everyone who matters witnesses the truth. At night, when she sleeps beside me, I study her face in the darkness. 10 years of marriage have taught me to read her expressions, even in sleep. She's been having nightmares lately, restless tossing that leaves the sheets tangled by morning. Good. She should be afraid. The anniversary dinner is no longer a celebration. It's a trial, and I'm both prosecutor and judge. Lauren has already condemned herself with her own words. Now it's time for the sentencing. The dining room table stretches under the weight of Lauren's grandmother's china, crystal glasses catching light from the chandelier she insisted we buy last Christmas. 24 place settings for 24 witnesses to our marriage's funeral. Lauren moves through the house like a director staging a play, adjusting flower arrangements and double-checking the wine selection. She's wearing the blue dress from our honeymoon, the one that makes her eyes look like sapphires. The anniversary necklace catches the light every time she turns. "Everything looks perfect," Rebecca says, arriving early to help with final preparations. Her eyes meet mine across the kitchen, and I see the knowledge there, the weight of what we both know is coming. "Lauren always throws the most beautiful dinners," agrees my mother, Margaret Bennett, as she arranges appetizers on silver platters. She's driven 3 hours to be here, bringing my father and uncle along. Family should witness family business. The guests arrive in waves. Neighbors from Willow Creek Lane, colleagues from Sterling Financial, Lauren's college friends who've watched our relationship since we were kids, barely old enough to vote. Each handshake, each hug, each happy anniversary feels like a countdown. Victor Caldwell doesn't attend. Smart man. Lauren's anxiety shows in small ways. The way she grips her wine glass, the forced brightness of her laugh, how she keeps checking her phone despite the evening being about us. She knows something's wrong but can't identify the threat. "You seem tense tonight," I tell her as we stand together in the kitchen, momentarily alone while our guests mingle in the living room. "Just want everything to be perfect." Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. 10 years. It feels like a lifetime. It does, I agree. And yet, like it went by in a flash. The irony hangs between us, unspoken but heavy. Dinner proceeds with careful choreography. Conversations flow around topics I've helped engineer: trust in marriage, the importance of family, what it means to build a life with someone. Lauren participates with decreasing enthusiasm, her responses growing shorter as the evening progresses. After dessert, I stand, tapping my knife against my wine glass until the table falls silent. All eyes turn to me, expectant, hopeful, completely unprepared for what comes next. 10 years ago, Lauren and I promised to love, honor, and cherish each other, to be faithful in good times and bad, in sickness and health, until death do us part. I pause, letting the words settle. Tonight I want to share with you what those promises have meant to us. I move to the sound system, iPad already connected, recording cued and ready. The room falls completely silent. "This is from last week," I announce, finger hovering over the play button. "Lauren discussing our marriage with a friend." Her face goes white. The necklace rises and falls with her rapid breathing. I press play. Her voice fills the room, crystal clear and damning. "He's completely clueless. Still thinks I'm painting landscapes and tending roses like some suburban housewife." The reaction is immediate. Gasps echo around the table. My mother's hand flies to her mouth. Lauren's father, Thomas Bennett, goes rigid in his chair. The recording continues, each revelation more devastating than the last. The financial fraud, the custody manipulation, the systematic destruction of my reputation. 24 people listen to Lauren methodically planning my annihilation with the casual efficiency of someone ordering coffee. "What about custody?" Victor's voice asks through the speakers. "Please, Ethan works 60-hour weeks, travels constantly." Rebecca's chair scrapes against the floor as she pushes back from the table, her face a mask of disgust and betrayal. "Lauren, how could you—" Lauren finally finds her voice. This is taken out of context. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly." My father's voice cuts through her protest, cold and final. "I understand that my son married a stranger." The recording plays for another minute, long enough to capture her cruel laughter, her detailed plans for my financial ruin, her complete lack of remorse for destroying our family. When it ends, the silence is deafening. Lauren's chair topples as she stands, her napkin fluttering to the floor like a white flag of surrender. "You bastard! You recorded me without my knowledge. That's illegal." Single-party consent state, Julia had taught me well. And you're my wife. Everything you just heard is admissible in court. The truth of her situation hits her like a physical blow. Her knees buckle, and she grabs the table edge for support. The anniversary necklace swings against her chest, the instrument of her own destruction. "This is over," she whispers, then louder, "This is all over." She runs from the room, her heels clicking frantically against the hardwood floor. The front door slams with enough force to rattle the windows. In the silence that follows, I look around the table at 23 faces reflecting various stages of shock, disgust, and pity. Not one shows sympathy for Lauren. "I'm sorry you all had to hear this," I tell them. "But I needed witnesses. Our children need to know that their father fought for them." My mother reaches across the table, her hand finding mine. "We'll support you through this, whatever you need." The others nod agreement. Thomas Bennett, Lauren's own father, looks 10 years older than he did an hour ago. "I raised her better than this," he says quietly. "I don't know where we went wrong." Monday morning, I'm at the courthouse when it opens. The divorce papers are filed by 9 a.m., along with recorded evidence, financial statements, and a motion for emergency custody. Julia moves with surgical precision, each document another nail in Lauren's legal coffin. Judge Sandra McCall reviews the evidence with the same detached professionalism she brings to every case, but I catch her flinch when Lauren's voice describes manipulating our children's loyalty. "Full custody to the plaintiff," she rules. "Supervised visitation only, pending psychological evaluation. The defendant will repay all misappropriated funds plus interest and penalties." Lauren sits beside her court-appointed attorney, looking small and broken in a borrowed suit. The woman who planned my destruction with such confidence can barely lift her head to acknowledge the judge's ruling. Outside the courthouse, news vans wait. Word of the anniversary dinner recording has spread through Willow Creek like wildfire. Local news stations want interviews, but I walk past them without comment. This was never about public humiliation. It was about justice. The district attorney's office calls that afternoon. Financial fraud charges are being filed. The investigation into her activities with Victor Caldwell is just beginning. By evening, Victor has issued a public statement denying any romantic involvement with Lauren, claiming their relationship was purely professional and expressing concern for her apparent psychological instability. Abandoned by her lover, rejected by her family, facing criminal charges and financial ruin, Lauren's careful plans have collapsed entirely. I pick up Emma and Noah from school, their faces confused but trusting. Tonight, I'll start explaining what happened to their mother. Tomorrow, we'll begin rebuilding our lives on a foundation of honesty instead of lies. The anniversary necklace sits in my desk drawer, its recording function disabled, its purpose served. A beautiful piece of jewelry hiding an ugly truth, much like the marriage it helped destroy. Justice served with surgical precision, just like Lauren taught me to appreciate. Emma asks the hard questions with 10-year-old directness. Is Mommy coming home? We sit in the living room where the anniversary dinner took place, the dining table back to its normal size, the chairs rearranged to accommodate our smaller family. Noah, 2 years younger, stays close to my side, processing his confusion through proximity rather than words. Not the way she used to, I tell them. But she's still your mother. That doesn't change. Did she really say those things about us? Emma's voice cracks slightly. She's inherited her mother's intelligence, unfortunately paired with her mother's ability to cut straight to painful truths. She said things she shouldn't have. But people sometimes make very bad choices when they're confused or scared. It's more generous than Lauren deserves, but the children don't need to carry the full weight of their mother's betrayal. Not yet. The extended family gatherings that once included Lauren by default now happen around the careful void of her absence. Thanksgiving at my parents' house features an empty chair that nobody mentions, but everyone notices. Christmas morning is quieter, focused on the children's joy rather than adult conversations that might veer into uncomfortable territory. Lauren's parents, Thomas and Margaret Bennett, age visibly over the following months. Their daughter's public disgrace has left them isolated from their social circles, questioning every choice they made raising her. They send cards to the children but avoid family gatherings where they might have to explain her absence. Rebecca remains our strongest ally, filling some of the gaps Lauren's departure created. She helps with school pickup when I'm traveling, attends soccer games and dance recitals, provides the female perspective the children need as they navigate their new reality. She keeps calling me, Rebecca confides during one of our weekly coffee meetings. Asking about you, about the kids, wanting to know if there's any chance for reconciliation. What do you tell her? The truth. That she destroyed something that can't be fixed. Lauren's fall accelerates as the months pass. Without access to our joint accounts or Victor's financial support, she moves through a series of increasingly desperate living situations. Couch surfing with friends who grow tired of her drama. Cheap motels that rent by the week. Finally, a studio apartment in the worst part of the city, furnished with items from thrift stores and charity drives. The menial jobs follow. Waitressing at diners where nobody knows her name, retail work at stores where former neighbors might see her folding clothes or stocking shelves. Each position lasts only weeks before her past catches up, whispered conversations leading to awkward resignations. Sleep becomes her enemy. The children's therapy sessions reveal that she's been having nightmares, calling out their names in the darkness of her lonely apartment. Anxiety attacks strike without warning, leaving her gasping for breath in grocery store aisles or while walking to her car after work. Her attempts at reconciliation start with flowers delivered to my office, then cards addressed to the children, filled with promises she can't keep and love declarations that ring hollow after the anniversary dinner recording. Each overture is met with polite silence or returned mail. "I want to see my children," she tells me during a phone call that bypasses all our usual barriers. Her voice sounds hollow, defeated. "Supervised visitation is available. You know the requirements." "I can't afford the court-appointed supervisor. And I can't have someone watching me try to connect with my own children." Pride, even in destruction. Some things never change. My evenings are spent building something new from the ruins of our old life. The Broken Trust Foundation starts as a simple website offering resources for families dealing with infidelity and financial betrayal. Within months, it grows into a network of support groups, legal referrals, and counseling services. "You're helping people who've been where you were," Julia Harmon observes during one of our board meetings. "That takes strength. The community rallies around us in ways I never expected. Neighbors who once made polite small talk now offer genuine friendship. Emma's teacher goes out of her way to ensure she feels supported at school. Noah's soccer coach gives him extra attention during practice, understanding that male mentorship has become more crucial in our altered family dynamic. But the children carry scars I can't completely heal. Emma has developed a hypervigilance about promises. She needs detailed explanations of where I'm going and when I'll return, verification that I mean what I say. Noah clings more tightly during hugs, as if testing my permanence. Their therapy sessions become family appointments where we all learn to navigate trust again. Dr. Martinez, the child psychologist Rebecca recommended, guides us through exercises in rebuilding security after betrayal. Children are resilient, she tells me after a particularly difficult session where Emma broke down crying about missing her mother. But they're also honest about their feelings in ways adults sometimes can't be. Let them feel angry. Let them feel sad. Just make sure they also feel safe. Lauren's latest attempt at reconciliation comes through Emma's school. She volunteers for the spring carnival, hoping to encounter the children in a setting where I can't intervene. The school administration, aware of our custody arrangement, calls me immediately. "I'm sorry, Mr. Bennett. We should have been more vigilant about our volunteer screening." Another door closes. Another bridge burned. The anniversary of our disaster approaches. 1 year since the dinner that ended our marriage, since the recording that exposed Lauren's betrayal, since the last time our family was whole, even if that wholeness was built on lies. I find myself checking the court records online, following the progress of Lauren's criminal case. Plea negotiations are ongoing. Her new attorney, a public defender with too many cases and too little time, is pushing for a settlement that would involve restitution and probation rather than jail time. Part of me wants to see her locked up. Part of me just wants her to disappear entirely. But mostly, I want to stop thinking about her at all. The children and I have learned to create new traditions. Saturday morning pancakes with shapes that aren't butterflies. Bedtime stories that don't remind us of absent voices. Family movie nights where we don't save space on the couch for someone who isn't coming home. We're building something authentic from the ashes of something false. It's smaller than what we had before, but it's real. And for now, real is enough. 2 years after the anniversary dinner that changed everything, I wake up in a house that finally feels like home again. The walls are painted different colors now. Emma chose purple for her room. Noah wanted blue. The family photos on the mantle have been curated, removing the ones that featured forced smiles and false happiness. The children pad downstairs in their pajamas, ready for our Saturday morning tradition. Real pancakes this time, shaped like pancakes, with syrup that Noah is finally old enough not to spill on his shirt. "Dad, can we go to the park after breakfast?" Emma asks, already knowing the answer. Saturdays belong to them. No work calls, no adult responsibilities beyond keeping them fed and entertained. The anniversary necklace sits in my desk drawer, locked away like evidence from a crime that's already been solved. Sometimes I forget it's there. Other times, usually late at night when the house is quiet, I remember the weight of it in my hands. The way it felt to give Lauren the instrument of her own destruction disguised as a gift of love. Julia Harmon's final bill arrived last month, marking the official end of our legal relationship. The divorce is finalized, custody arrangements permanent, financial restitution ordered but largely uncollected. Lauren doesn't have anything left to take. She's living in a different city now, 3 hours away, working at a call center under a manager who doesn't know her history. The supervised visitation sessions happened exactly twice before she stopped showing up, claiming she couldn't handle seeing her children in a sterile room with a court-appointed stranger taking notes. Rebecca brings occasional updates, filtered through mutual acquaintances who've maintained tenuous connections to Lauren's new life. Therapy sessions that start and stop when money runs out, medication for anxiety and depression when she can afford it, job interviews that end when background checks reveal her past. She asks about the kids, Rebecca tells me during one of our coffee meetings. Always wants to know if they're happy, if they miss her. What do you tell her? That they're thriving, that you're a good father, that they're building a life that doesn't include her. It sounds harsh, but it's honest. Emma and Noah have adapted to our new reality with the resilience children possess when they're given stability and truth. They mention their mother less frequently, and when they do, it's with the distant affection reserved for someone from their past rather than their present. The Broken Trust Foundation has grown beyond anything I imagined when I started it. 3 full-time staff members, partnerships with law firms specializing in family matters, support groups in 4 states. Last month, we helped a woman in Missouri expose her husband's financial fraud using techniques I learned from my own experience. "You've turned your pain into purpose," Dr. Martinez observed during Emma's last therapy session. "That's the healthiest response to betrayal I've ever seen." But healing isn't linear, and some wounds never completely close. There are moments, usually triggered by memory, when I remember loving Lauren completely, trusting her absolutely, believing in the life we were building together. Those moments hurt worse than anger ever could. Emma notices everything, always has. "Do you miss her, Dad?" We're sitting on the back porch, watching Noah practice soccer kicks against the fence. The question comes without warning, the way children's most important questions always do. "I miss who I thought she was," I tell her, because Emma deserves honesty even when it's complicated. But that person was never real. She considers this with 10-year-old seriousness. "Like missing a character from a book?" "Exactly like that." Noah jogs over, grass stains on his knees and dirt under his fingernails. "What are we talking about?" "Growing up," Emma says, which isn't entirely wrong. The criminal case against Lauren concluded 6 months ago with a plea agreement, 2 years probation, community service, and restitution payments she'll never be able to afford. Victor Caldwell escaped with his reputation mostly intact, his political connections protecting him from anything more than whispered speculation. Justice isn't always complete, but it's often sufficient. Community events have become easier as time passes. The school fundraiser where parents no longer ask careful questions about Lauren's absence. Neighborhood barbecues where conversations flow naturally around topics that once felt dangerous. Emma's dance recital where I'm just another single parent in the audience cheering for my daughter's pirouettes. "You look content," Margaret Whitman observes at the latest block party. "Really content, not just putting on a brave face." She's right. Contentment has replaced the brittle facade of normalcy I wore during those first months. The children and I have found our rhythm, learned to be a family of 3 instead of a broken family of 4. Late at night, after the children are asleep, I sometimes walk through the house that Lauren and I chose together. The rooms hold different energy now, lighter, more honest. Her rose garden has been converted to a vegetable plot that Emma tends with scientific precision. The studio where she pretended to paint landscapes has become Noah's playroom. Physical spaces can be reclaimed more easily than emotional ones. The anniversary of our wedding passes without ceremony. I don't mark the date on my calendar anymore, don't spend the day wrestling with memories of promises that were lies from the beginning. The children mention it only because Emma has an uncanny ability to remember dates that matter to other people. "Were you and Mom really happy once?" Noah asks during dinner, apropos of nothing. "I was happy," I tell him. "I thought she was too. Sometimes we're wrong about what other people are feeling. But you're happy now, right? With just us?" "Especially with just us." The truth settles over our small family like a comfortable blanket. We've learned to be enough for each other, to fill the spaces that were once occupied by someone who never truly belonged. Lauren's final letter arrives on a Tuesday, addressed to me but clearly intended for the children. Rebecca brings it during one of our coffee meetings, her expression unreadable. "She wanted me to give this to you. Asked me to make sure the kids see it. The handwriting is shakier than I remember. The paper cheap drugstore stationery. Lauren's words are careful, controlled, probably drafted and redrafted before she found the courage to mail it. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I want Emma and Noah to know that leaving them was the hardest thing I've ever done. Not because of the court order or the custody arrangement, but because I finally understand what I destroyed. I hope someday they'll remember the good parts of having me as a mother before I became someone I don't recognize. Tell them I love them. Tell them I'm sorry. Tell them they're better off without me. I read it twice before folding it carefully and placing it in the fireplace. The children don't need to carry the weight of their mother's guilt along with everything else. The flames consume the paper quickly, leaving only ash and the memory of words that came too late to matter. Spring brings new possibilities. Emma joins the school debate team, her sharp intelligence finding outlet in structured argument. Noah discovers a talent for drawing, spending hours sketching superhero adventures where families stay together and villains are easily identified. We're planning a summer vacation, just the three of us, to somewhere Lauren has never been. Colorado again, maybe, or the beach house my parents have been offering since the divorce was finalized. Places where we can build new memories without ghosts. The anniversary necklace will stay in my desk drawer, a reminder of how thoroughly someone can know you and still choose to destroy you. But it's also proof that truth, however painful, is always stronger than lies. "Are we going to be okay?" Emma asks one evening as I tuck her into bed. It's become her nightly question, the way other children ask for one more story or 5 more minutes of light. "We already are okay," I tell her, kissing her forehead. "We're more than okay. We're honest." She smiles in the darkness, satisfied with an answer that took me months to believe myself. Down the hall, Noah is already asleep, one arm wrapped around the stuffed elephant that's traveled with him through every change in his young life. Tomorrow he'll wake up secure in the knowledge that I'll be there, that our small family is built on truth rather than convenience. The house settles around us, creaking in the familiar way old homes do when their occupants are finally at peace. No phones buzz with secret messages. No credit card statements hide mysterious charges. No conversations happen in whispered tones behind closed doors. Just a father and his children, building a life worth living on the ruins of one that never really existed. I lock the front door, check the windows, turn off the lights. The routines of security that once felt paranoid now feel protective. We have something worth guarding, not from external threats, but from the kind of internal rot that destroys families from within. In my bedroom, I set the alarm for another ordinary morning. School lunches to pack, soccer practice to attend, homework to supervise. The mundane responsibilities that Lauren once claimed were beneath her now feel like privileges. The anniversary necklace gleams in its dark drawer, a beautiful thing that served an ugly purpose. Someday I might throw it away or sell it or give it to someone who doesn't know its history. But not yet. For now, it serves as a reminder that justice, when it comes, is often quiet and complete. That patience and preparation can overcome manipulation and deceit. That sometimes the best revenge is simply living well with the people who truly matter. Lauren got exactly what she planned for, just not the way she expected. And we got exactly what we deserved, each other and the truth, and a future built on both. The game is over, and we won. And that's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Your support helps the algorithm push my content further. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep creating more stories for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.